We were born to connect with the world around us. But in our quest to stay connected, we forgot how. So come to Audubon Zoo. Where you can reconnect with the wonder of it all. Get tickets at visitaudubon.com.
Markets is voted best grocery store in New Orleans, best grocery store in Baton Rouge, Mississippi, Gulf Coast, Thibodaux, Houma, Hammond, Lake Charles, Mobile, year after year. Thank you for choosing us best grocery store on the Gulf Coast. Number one. Thank you.
Thank you.
The number one grocery store
In Mississippi, Alabama,
Louisiana. 1 million customers a week can't be wrong. Welcome to Rouse's.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Wow, is this video? You can see me? It's not just my voice? Well, I'll be doggone. Welcome to the video segment of Unscripted, a NolaPapa podcast. I'm so excited to welcome each and every one of y'all to this new format that we are so excited to produce with my buddy Adrian over at the editing table, and Solid Ice Media, and all of our awesome sponsors, from Oshner to FCJ Law to Audubon to Rouse's to Cafe Du Monde to Sandpiper Vacations, Comfort Cases. The list goes on and on. New Orleans Ice Cream Company. We're so excited to bring this awesome content to all the people of the world. Now, sit back with your tea or your coffee and get inspired. Let's go. This is our very first premiere episode of our video podcast after 5 seasons. Bianca Del Rio, our first guest. I can't think of a better guest.
Well, let me just tell you, it's such a crazy thing because the idea that after all these years of me knowing you, that this is me doing your podcast on your 5th season, first video podcast, and I'm in fucking Sydney, Australia right now. So how
in
crazy?
Full drag.
Is it? Well, yes, it's been a 2-day press day. I got here 2 days ago. Yes, 2 days ago, day before yesterday. Flew in from doing shows in Asia, and so I'm here in Sydney doing press. I leave here tomorrow and then fly to Brisbane and start my last 12 shows of 127 shows tour that I've been doing for the past year. So here we are, home stretch, baby, home
superstar. So if it's 9 o'clock here, holy shit, does that mean that it's like 9 o'clock in the morning?
2 p.m. 2 p.m. the next day. I'm 2 p.m. the next day. I'm ahead of you, bitch. Yes.
Wow. She's in the future, y'all.
I'm in the future, and I have been in drag since my first call time was 7:30 this morning. So it's been a day.
Drag.
It is, but you know, the crazy thing is that you keep moving. Like, you know, they've got me here, there, everywhere. I've got somebody else to be, you know, so they keep me together.
And you have your sweet Jamie just guiding you along.
Which is crazy because I think I've known Jamie probably as long as I've known you. Jamie and I go back, how many years is it now, Jamie? 25 years, which is nuts to think about.
Yeah.
Nuts to think about. I think you were 25 when I met you. How old were you then?
Oh no, I was fresh out of, like, I was so tragic. I was like 19.
19? Well, that's...
Yeah, it was time for me. I was able to learn from my mistakes and the things that happen, you know, and know where you want to go. Because some people don't learn that shit until they're 40, 8 or however, and then they fall in a bourbon gutter, you know. So I'm glad I got it out my system.
Well, the good thing is I often tell people when you grow up from New Orleans, you either learn tolerance for alcohol and fuckery, or you become that. And so I'm grateful that I dabbled, I had a good run, and then I moved on, you know?
Exactly. And the people, like, with that said, and just to, you guys, not to like toot my recorder or anything,
Yes.
but we both had a dear, dear friend, Tommy Elias. He was the owner at one point at Oz, and then the general manager. He saw a light in Bianca / Roy, and it was really neat to see y'all's relationship. And then Punk me, rolling out of Mississippi. He made Bianca Del Rio put me in drag, and and I have the best memories. And with that said, we rolled out and left the quarter, but the memories that we have are so neat. Like, you were Miss Hannigan and I was Annie. Don't you remember that?
Well, what's so crazy is that I was young in the beginning and was working in theater and doing costumes, wigs, and makeup with no idea that I wanted to be a drag queen. And then there was a show that I was doing costumes and wigs for that they needed someone in the show. So I go ahead and fill in, as it is, for the role in the show because I'm available. Tommy Elias actually auditioned for the show, not for my role, but for another role in the show, and didn't get it. And so that's how I became familiar with him. Now, I had always seen Tommy when I went to the bars, because at the time you could be 18 in the bars. So this is like in the early 90s. You could be 18 to go to the bars and drink and carry on. So I knew of Tommy from the bar. I used to see the drag show where there was Tara Lynn Fox, Ursuline Burgundy, Raquel Chevalier, Lisa Bowman, and Stephanie Williams. And they were goddesses to me. Like, I never once thought, hey, I'll do that. Different times. And then Tommy saw me in the play that I was doing, and it said, would you like to do a guest spot at the bar? He and Lisa Bowman, Lisa was show director at the time, and said, would you like to come in and do a night? And I was horrified, because I thought, I can't do this. Like, these girls are professionals. They've been doing this or whatever. Even though I'm doing theater, drag was different at the time. Remember, there's no YouTube videos. There was no internet on that level. No one could look up how to be a drag queen. You couldn't buy your wigs on Amazon. I mean, this was figure it out and do it. And the very first number I did there was Shirley Bassey's Big Spender, because it's only 1 minute and 48 seconds. It's like the shortest song, or maybe 2 minutes, that you could possibly do. Because I thought, let me get in, let me get out, let me do it. And the crazy part about all of it is that I forgot to mention the host of the show was Becky Allen, who was my roommate for many, many years.
Yes.
So it's wild that that's kind of where it all started, and then it was just snowballing from there. And now next year is 30 years that I've done drag.
Oh my Lanta. Ugh.
I know.
Like,
I'm old.
There's something, well, not only are you old, but you are unique, and you are something that the Fruit Loop had never, and up until this day, have never seen again. And
well, it came out of those moments. When you're doing bingo, let's say at 3 p.m. in the afternoon or 5 p.m., whatever time it was, there's only a certain type of person that's in the bar at 5 p.m. and that is an alcoholic. Now, an alcoholic wants a drink. An alcoholic does not want a drag queen yelling fucking bingo for 2 hours. So this is where my personality or my drag persona began. Drunk person, bitchy queen. I'm trying to make my money. They're trying to get their drink. That's how it all began. So when I talk to people and people now say, were you always this bitchy? Or were you always this? Yes. I said, but you learn when you're dealing with a drunk audience, there's nothing that scares me. I have dealt with everything. So come to me, bring your shit. I guarantee you will not win if you've dealt with a drunk person in New Orleans at 5 p.m. on a Thursday. You ain't got it. So that's kind of where the skill set came in. It wasn't a conscious choice. And Tommy being the manager at the time, was really good to me. And I had bingo one night, then it was bingo 3 nights, and then there was like a Monday night show that I filled in.
Because
yeah,
of
it was
the
great.
success, people,
It
you
was
guys, people were falling, like literally, it was pouring out of the bar, and
we had good times. Oh,
like
good times.
And then your Monday night show, the Gong Show, and how like it was so cool. Like we could talk about all this shit, but like the Gong Show and like how you had the tables and like the candles and Sebastian.
Oh, Sebastian! You know what? I just saw Sebastian. I saw Sebastian.
No shit.
I saw him. It had to be about maybe now 2 years ago. I was in London doing a musical, and I got a message because we became friends on Instagram, where, you know, once again, you find everybody. Sent me a message, and he says, "I'm in London. Are you here?" And I'm like, "As a matter of fact, I am." We met up. We had dinner. We caught up. It was great. Talk about insanity.
God.
Yes.
Is he
So I
still
got to
the
catch
most
up with him.
fabulous person, like Sebastian?
Darling, makeup person, ham, cigarette, living his life.
Yes, I love it.
Good to see him.
So, Bianca, I want to ask you. So, with the success, I was in Switzerland when you won, when you won Drag Race, and
Ooh.
I knew, you know, because Tommy and I literally talked about you, and he would nudge me in the DJ booth, and
really?
he would
In a good
nudge
way?
me in a good way, and he
Okay.
would look at me with his Tommy smile, and he would point at you, and he would say, "She's gonna make it one day," and
Look at that. Oh.
you know, and it's really neat how you touch people and you don't really realize it.
Well, what's so amazing, well, no, if I touched people, I would be a priest. No, the crazy thing is he was always very, very supportive of everything that I did and very encouraging. And I remember when Katrina happened, at that point, I think I was working at the bar 5 nights a week, and I was calling it the golden handcuffs. You know, here it was. I didn't leave. I was still getting to do everything I wanted to do, and I was kind of spoiled in my way. I was in an unhappy relationship, which we've all been there. But I was in a relationship that was bad. I was working 5 nights a week there, and I just kind of felt it was going nowhere. And I was 30, how old was I then? I think it was 30, someone's knocking. I was 37, 35, 36, no, 35 at the time. And I just thought, you know what, maybe this is it. You know, maybe I can wrap this up. Maybe I'm done with it. And then when Katrina happened, I just thought I gotta go. And so I packed up and I had to tell him, hey, this has been a lovely ride, but I'm going to New York. I just need to go do something else. And he was extremely supportive. And he said, I understand, no big deal. I said, first of all, you know, it's gonna take a minute for them to clear up this mess of a city. Entertainment is gonna be not on the top of everybody's list. So I thought, let me just run. I didn't, thankfully, suffer any damage. I didn't own a home. I didn't have any of that. I just thought, I need my way out. And I left then
and you
with his
needed
blessing.
your way out, not to cut you off, but towards the end and all of the success that you made that bar, they milked you like a sweet hot turnip. Like,
But I love
you know,
them.
yes,
You know,
yes.
it's called good business. You know, it's called good business. And I learned a lot then. I learned how to say no. I learned my worth. I had people that believed in me. And in the end, it gave me the confidence to go do other things. And when I got to New York, I was still working in costumes, and I thought, I don't want to do drag anymore. I'm done, whatever. And then I saw 2 horrible drag queens, and I was like, oh, well, fuck them, I got to do this. So then I went back into it. So it was a short-lived retirement. But yeah, that's just kind of how life works, though.
I didn't realize you had a little window of putting it down for a minute. And
oh yeah, well, because when you got to New York, it was like it was more about working and making money, and I thought, well, I've got to do this daytime job at a costume shop, which was literally 8:30 to 5 every day, and I didn't know how to balance it yet. And there was no in, you know, it was very cliquish. It was very cliquish in New York. So it took about, I was there 9 months to a year before I actually started doing something. And it's shocking that I'm telling you this now because I'm just realizing it. Same thing that happened to me in New Orleans with doing the Gong Show. You mentioned the Gong Show earlier. The Gong Show belonged to a guy by the name of Barry Barass and Victoria Versace. They used to do the show together. And one night, Victoria called out, and I filled in. And then that's how it all shifted. And then eventually they got rid of Barry. And then it was just me.
Bitch, you called the wrong person.
It happened. It happened. And then same thing happened in New York. There was someone doing a benefit in New York that was in the basement of a restaurant in New York. And the head drag queen couldn't make it. And my ex at the time suggested me. They didn't know me. And it was a benefit. I went in and did it. Then someone saw me, said, do you want to work at the bar? And that's how it just all kind of happened. Now, the same story. I didn't realize it till now. Same situation.
Wow.
Literally years later. Yeah, wild.
It's like you're pushed and then sink or swim. And
That's
like,
it, but isn't that life?
Exactly. You do the laps.
Yeah.
And if you don't do the laps, you drown.
Ain't that the truth?
You know, I mean, you have to put in to get what you want. And with that said, I'm living the high life in Switzerland, and I'm looking down at my damn phone, and I'm seeing Bianca Del Rio. Not only did she win the damn thing, but never went to sing, or however they call it.
Oh, yeah, lip sync. Well, you know,
Yes.
that was the premise of the show. I was in New York, and so let's cut to many years later. So I'd been in New York a hot minute, and it's now, I think I was 37 at the time, and the show was a big hit. The show was, I wasn't on the show yet. The show was like, in the gay world, it was the big hit. It was the only franchise happening. It was in America. I think they were on season 5. And I was working in New York and pretty happy with it. But I thought to myself, all right, I've had a good run. I can't balance this schedule anymore because I'm still at the costume shop all day, still working at night. But because I'm in New York, I need the money. And I thought, okay, you're 37, let's say 40. 40, we wrap this up. But then I watched Drag Race. I wasn't a super fan in the beginning. And I saw it, and I saw some of my untalented friends actually achieve success. So I thought, if this stupid bitch can get it, then why don't I try it? Like, I'm thinking I'm on my way out. I'm thinking, so I'll do it. So some people will watch the show, I'll audition, let's see what happens. I did, and then I had like 2.5 weeks, and then I went on the show. You film it in seclusion, 5.5 weeks of your life, and I went back to working my regular jobs, and then it just all kind of exploded. And then from there, I think because of my experiences by that point, I knew you run with it. You go, you run, and you do what you can do, and you say, hey, I look at everything as an opportunity, and I look at everything now going, I could be dead tomorrow. Let me go do it. Let me try it, you know? And that's where we are now. So it's just been this constant amazing journey, and you just keep staying afloat. You know, you drown sometimes, but you keep going.
And I want to ask you, because a lot of people, they say, I have an idea. I have an idea. I have an idea. You know, and a lot of times that idea, there's a fear component. Do you tell people, even if if you're scared to go and do it, or do you have to take time to like get the courage, or you just barrel through it? Oh, hey, did you know that Café du Monde means Cafe of the World in French? We all know that it's renowned for its open-air coffee shop located on Decatur Street in the French Quarter of New Orleans. But did you know that they have 9 other locations throughout South Louisiana, such as City Park, Veterans, Williams, Riverwalk, Lakeside, the airport, Covington, and Mandeville. And they also have a food truck that serves events throughout the metropolitan New Orleans area. All you have to do is call 1-800-772-2927 to schedule a beignet food truck. They're also known for the Cafe au lait, and you can trust your papa. That's a good cup of coffee. And you pair that with the iconic beignets, you can't go wrong. That's Cafe du Monde, global icon. Find out all you need to know about Cafe du Monde at their website at www.shop.cafedumonde.com.
We were born to connect with the world around us, but in our quest to stay connected, we forgot how. So come to Audubon Zoo. Where you can reconnect with the wonder of it all. Get tickets at visitaudubon.com.
I'm here to tell you, buying or selling a home is more than a transaction. It's a life-changing experience. At ERA Top Agent Realty, they understand that every home has a story, and they are there to help you write your next chapter. With the expertise of Pamela Bro and the powerhouse team at ERA Top Agent Realty, you're not just getting trusted advisors. You're getting a team committed to your success. Whether you're looking for your dream home, selling for the best price, or investing in the future, they combine cutting-edge technology with personal service to deliver top results that move you. At ERA Top Agent Realty, they just don't sell houses, they build relationships. Let ERA Top Agent Realty find your perfect place together. Your dream home is waiting. Contact Pamela Bro and the ERA Top Agent Realty team today because they move people, not just properties.
We were born to connect with the world around us, but in our quest to stay connected, we forgot how. So come to Audubon Zoo. Where you can reconnect with the wonder of it all. Get tickets at visitaudubon.com.
I look at it this way. First and foremost, you got to be your own little tour guide for yourself. So you got to go, okay, I look at the bigger picture. For instance, I tour quite a bit. So I'm currently on a tour that's my 6th world tour. So you're doing 127 shows in many countries all over the place. That is what I target to do. Now, I'm wrapping this up. I'm finishing this up right before Mardi Gras in New Orleans, because I'll be in New Orleans for Orpheus. Yada, yada. That's a whole nother thing. But I'm wrapping it up then. So that's as I say, I put on my big girl panties and you do it. It's not glamorous. You're traveling. You're schlepping all your shit from city to city. You're in different time zones. You lose sleep. You lose your mind. You have a schedule. Then I get a little time off to do my vanity projects, which is a friend that might have an independent film, or get to go do a benefit that doesn't pay any money, or to go and do something for Project Angel Food in Los Angeles, or go and do something for a pet organization. That's when I get to do what I want to do. But I've learned say yes to everything. Becky Allen taught me that. Say yes to everything, no matter what the money is, no matter what the situation is. Go and do it, because even if you're not paid a lot of money, is that you come out of there with a great story that you can use in your act later. You're gonna go, girl, I was just in Akron, Ohio, and then you can go on and on. So you do that. You know what the big stuff is that you're working on, and you also know to keep yourself surrounded by people that, for instance, Jamie, who's been my friend for 25 years, but also is my manager, who also doesn't think I'm funny, doesn't think I'm attractive, makes me carry my own suitcases. So the bitch keeps me humble. So that helps a lot. So that's what kind of gives you those opportunities. And then I know that in that short period of time, I can go do the fun stuff, or I can do the stuff that I can take a chance on. I took a chance on Drag Race and it shifted my life. So I took a chance with Oz. I took a chance with working in New York.
Moving to New York
all of
after
it.
Katrina. Like, how
All of
scary.
it.
Yes.
But what's the alternative? Sit and wonder?
Exactly.
I don't like to sit
Exactly.
and wonder.
Or what if?
You can't.
It's like, exactly. And and with that said, because I know you're a busy lady, and we still got to talk about one of our beautiful sponsors, Orpheus, my favorite cruise. Yes. But I want to ask a question submitted by our wonderful audience.
Oh, brilliant,
And-
brilliant. Well, I'll tell you this. You know what's so amazing about Orpheus is that Sonny Bory and Derek Franklin have been friends of mine for many, many years, and they were people that were so lovely to me because during Katrina, we were in the middle of rehearsal for a production of Cabaret. I was playing the MC and I was costuming the show, and we're like about to go into Tech Week, literally about to go into Tech Week. And the insanity of it all was hurricane comes. What happens when you live in New Orleans? Oh, it's a hurricane. So what do? You pick up your things, you leave for a couple of days, you come back, no big deal, you know? And we never came back. And I ended up in New York, and they said, well, we still want to do the show. This is 2 years later that I went back to do the show, and I would, in rehearsal, and then I would have my jobs. This is the insanity. My 8 to 5 job in New York City. I was able to work out getting Fridays off. I had my night shows at the drag bars, and I would fly every Friday morning to New Orleans to do a show Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then fly back Sunday night to be back in New York on Monday to do it for the run of the show. Isn't that insanity? Isn't that insanity?
That is work ethic. And
Insanity.
you're from New
But
Orleans.
that's-
They don't have work ethic in New Orleans. And
No, I got through it, but they another group of people that had faith in me, and Orpheus and Renee Maxwell and everybody that's there have been friends of mine for so long. And it's just such an honor that I get to come home and be celebrated in this way. As I said, it's like the best end cap ever. I'll be done with my shows. I get to go home to New Orleans and experience the magic. I'm quite excited.
what does it feel like to you to be the entertainment for so long? Because Bianca's been like the MC for Orpheus for multiple times.
Oh yeah, I've done it. Yeah, I've done
How
it.
does
yeah.
it feel to be recognized as celebrity monarch?
Oh, please, how fun is this? I mean, the idea that anybody thinks I'm a celebrity makes me laugh. But I go, listen, it's so great that they've always been so generous with me. And you got to understand is that, you know, in our world, it's like I always judge success by getting to work. You know, I say, hey, if I'm doing something, that's success to me. I don't know whether it's here, there, everywhere. I don't think of it as world domination. I don't think of it as, oh, this is it, I've made it. Because as soon as you think that, it all goes to shit. But the crazy thing is that to keep working. And what was so funny is that Renee and I were having a conversation, because Renee Maxwell and I have been friends forever. She's known me since I was 17. We were chatting about
She
many
has stories.
things.
She
Oh
has
God,
stories.
of course she does. Of course, they're her versions. Her versions. But what I love is that she was talking to Derek and Sonny, and she's like, yeah, I was just, because she had gone, this is so funny. Renee Maxwell was on a cruise to Paris. Somewhere she was taking a European cruise. And I was doing a show in Paris. So I get this message, I'm coming to the show. And I said, where? In Paris. I go, what are you doing? I said, you're in Paris. Why are you coming to see me? She's like, well, I want to come see your show. I'm like, girl, you're in Paris. Go fucking see Paris. Go do something exciting. Don't come see me. You can see me anytime. No, I'm coming. She came with her friends and was wild. And she's like, you're in fucking Paris doing a show. I go, yes, this is my reality. I was trying to explain this to you before. So then she went back and told Derek and them, she's like, do you realize that Roy is doing this? Roy's doing shows in Brazil and Asia and this. And they're like, we had no idea. So they felt bad that they didn't ask me years ago. But I'm like, please, I'm just grateful that it all worked out. Last year, they had talked to me about wanting to do it with Neil Patrick Harris, who is lovely and I've known for some time, and we were doing a project together. I said, I'm not available. How grand is this? I'm not available, but Neil is. So I put them in contact, and Neil was like, I wish you were here. I said, please, I would love nothing more than to ride a float with Doogie Howser, but it didn't work out. So they had their moment last year, and this is my moment this year. So I'm just so excited to be back home. And look, come on, any accolades and being treated so kindly by people that have believed in you and have been so respectful, it's amazing. It's amazing.
And you know, you can sail off on your beautiful, you know, $20 million yacht, $million yacht, you know.
Baby, when you're from New Orleans, you don't buy a boat. You don't buy a boat. That's no money, honey. Don't buy a boat.
I will
boat
tell
insurance.
you
Yes.
that the people, again, that you touched down here, including myself, you know, there is a piece of you that we keep in our pocket always, because there's not another, and there never will be another. And someone asked, I'm so old. We are both so old now.
You got glasses. I'm not there yet. So I got you, bitch. What's the question?
Jonathan, who was security guard at the pub back in the day when we were out there.
Do I owe him money?
You might have a 20 probably. But
okay.
How was Drag Race, and how did it change your life? I really want, you know, that's such a cliche question, but honestly, you know, rounding this chat out, what was it like to be around such dynamic drag queens all the damn time?
Please, first of all, the opportunity is surreal, and even seeing the success of previous seasons, I had no idea globally how it would affect it. Because you go and you film something, and you're in seclusion, and you have no contact with the outside world, as I'd mentioned before, and you're kind of like milling in. And every day you would have these confessionals with a camera and with a story producer explaining whatever happened that day. I didn't think of the global impact of it. As I said before, I wasn't a fan of the show. And I don't mean it like I wasn't a fan of the show. I wasn't a fan enough to know how it worked. I didn't know what it was about on the level of, okay, this is how it works. This is what they do. I kind of went in, and as I'm sitting here in a wig, I'm telling right now, I was myself and didn't know how that was going to translate. And a very good friend of mine, Corey Lejeune, who is actually going to be with me when I'm riding in Orpheus, a good friend of mine from way back when. Corey said to a group of his friends on a night that the show premiered, they're sitting in his living room, a gaggle of gays, ready to watch me on the show. And he says, she's either going to go home first or win, because that's her personality. And so you just go into this bubble and you experience it. And what was the most surprising, aside from winning, lovely to win, but I think we all won by getting the exposure, because the top three were Courtney Act, Adore Delano, still working, and they've become really good friends. And I have to say, that was the most surprising part of it. I didn't think I'd meet two other people that I cared about, four other people I cared about, my friend Darian Lake as well. I didn't think I'd like them. I didn't think that I would create a bond, because you created this little moment and experienced this with these other people. And we've been friends ever since. We talk, actually, Courtney's from Australia. We're missing each other by a week. But the insanity is that you have this experience, and yet that's my experience. And then it airs. And then it's like the world's experience. And one of the sweetest things that happened, and I remember this vividly, is that I was in New York. I was in Las Vegas when they announced the winner, because they had all of us there. And they were doing a show where all the contestants were performing, and the episode was airing. Now, I don't know if you know this, but you film the whole series, and then we go back and film the finale. And when we film the finale, they film all of us winning separately. So they go, this is you winning, this is you winning. And then what airs is the one who actually wins. So at that time, I didn't think I was gonna win. And for some reason, I just in my mind thought, okay, Adore's gonna win, it is what it is. And we film all these endings. So now we're all in Vegas, and we're in a hotel room, and it's the three of us. Now On Stage has been down at the hotel on the main stage with a full audience. They've had all the other contestants performing. Now we're trapped in a room, cameras are on us, it's all live now, and we're watching the show where they call out the winner. So they call out the winner and I win, and then I just go to the stage and it's all a blur. Now I have no idea, in my head, it's just like, okay, I'm still living in my world. I leave the next day, I have to go to do a gig, I've got this, and all these people are doing interviews where they're asking, how do you feel? I'm like, I don't fucking know how I feel. This is still kind of surreal. I was sent a video. I think it was from Tommy Elias, I believe. It was either Tommy or Lisa, who sent me a video of everybody in Oz. The Oz was packed, and it's on the screen, and they're watching the show, and they show a video of me winning, and in the entire bar standing up and screaming. And I thought, that was that was when it all kind of came together. That's where I started, and those motherfuckers are still rooting for me. And I thought, how amazing is that? You know, that's when it all hit. That's when it all hit. Even people I hated were going, woo!
Yes.
Yes, even people who thought I was a cunt.
Chill bumps. Yes.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy?
Yes.
And God, boy, you're country. You're very country when you say chill bumps. Chill bumps.
I do.
But yeah, so that's when the reality hit, and then you start to realize, oh wow, it's crazy. You're performing in Asia and doing shows, and you're like, how the fuck do they know who I am? I mean, at some point, I think half of them think I'm Hello Kitty, but I just go along with it, you know? You just do it. It is surreal. And to have had this journey and this much time is wild to me.
Well, I want to say this. I'm reading something again.
Well, all your readers.
So I can tell our audience, you guys, I know you know now that we were just having so much fun. I didn't get to my welcome, but Bianca Del Rio is literally reading, one of the most successful drag queens of all time.
Ooh,
okay,
this is good. Yeah.
That's
Jamie wrote that. That's good.
And she's known and dubbed for being Joan Rivers of the drag world. And 100%, I think you might have, God rest Joan, I love her.
Yes.
But you might have a little edge because you offer, she couldn't take her hair off. Well, maybe she could take her hair off. I don't know.
No, she could take her hair off. There's what was amazing is that I always say to everybody that was a New York Times headline that they did when they came to see me, and I couldn't have been happier. And she was alive at the time when that happened, and she was always a gracious lady when I met her many times in New York in passing. And then right before she actually died, I was doing a show. She was doing a YouTube series called In Bed with Joan Rivers, and it's on YouTube, and I was fortunate enough to do it. I was her second to last guest that she ever had, and I had the best time. We were scheduled to film 17 minutes of an interview, and we ended up sitting there cackling for an hour and a half. One of the loveliest, kindest, funniest women, and in these trying times, all I keep thinking is, what would have Joan have thought of this shit? What the fuck would Joan have thought about it? So that's always in the back of my mind. And here was
you channel her. You channel her.
Well, listen, hate is universal. And if anything she's taught me, let it out. And being with her and having those moments, I remember I'm sitting there and she could have been, she could have been grand. She could have been problematic. She could have been very fun. She was the most generous person as you're sitting with her and would let you talk, let you make a joke. I did, and there was something I said that she laughed at. And in my head, I was a 10-year-old boy going, Joan fucking Rivers is laughing at me. And I'm going, keep going, like don't, because you couldn't get into it. And when you're watching Joan Rivers cover her face and going, cackling, I'm like, this is the best compliment you could ever get. And she didn't have to do that. She didn't have to do that. And so I hold on to those memories and I just think to myself, how lucky to have that. And then and then she died. See what happens? I'm a killer in bed.
Can you believe we're talking to Bianca Del Rio? I mean, I am so grateful. I'm so honored. Renee,
it's full circle, babes.
Oh my God. And I cherish every single memory. I still whiten my teeth the way you taught me.
Appreciate that. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy.
And I'm just very thankful. And I know that not only the Don't Look Gays are too, but there's so many thousands of gay people that just look at you in the highest regard, and it's easy to forget that. It's easy to forget that.
No, but you know what? How amazing to have that opportunity. How amazing to have that opportunity. And it all started where it started, which was in New Orleans, and I was surrounded by some really great people. Sonny Bory, Derek Franklin, Renee Maxwell, Ricky Graham, Becky Allen, Tommy Elias, Lisa Bowman, all of those people that, were there and encouraging. Didn't have to be. Very, very encouraging. So I appreciate that, and I've learned in my life I've got to do the same for others. You got to do the same for others. So despite the fact being a total cunt on stage, you got to give back in the end. Well, that sounds like something really gay. Give back in the end. But you know what I mean. Don't give your end too much. But you know what I mean. See,
Yes.
trying to make a lovely metaphor and it gets nasty. But I just mean you gotta give back, and I don't mean just STDs. You gotta give back to the people. So I'm beyond grateful, and I'm excited to be back home in New Orleans for Mardi Gras. Are you gonna be there?
I'm gonna be there, boo boo.
All right, bitch.
March 3rd.
Yes. Orpheus, Orpheuscapade. Woo! I'll see you there.
Right. Oh, definitely. And I'm just gonna end it by saying, like I always do, from my family, my crazy wild family, to you and your crazy wild family, we send you
That's
Nola
it.
love.
You know we wouldn't be the #1 podcast in New Orleans if it wasn't for a family of sponsors that make it all happen. We love our audience, but without our sponsors, we wouldn't be here. So with that said, thank you to our beloved family of sponsors like Rouse's Markets, Ochsner Hospital for Children, Forrest, Cressy and James, attorney at law, Cafe Du Monde, original French Market coffee stand, the crew of Orpheus, Audubon Nature Institute, ComfortCases.org, and SandpiperVacations.com, New Orleans Ice Cream Company, and finally, Urban South Brewery. Without each of these beloved sponsors, our mission would not happen. So from Papa to you, thank you. And to our audience, thank you too.